Good afternoon, everyone. Let me give you a little bit of background. Warwick Township is in Lancaster County. We are just north of Lancaster City, about 18,000 population, and we completely surround the historic borough of Lidditz. I'm fortunate that in my area, I've been with Warwick over 21 years, that both the Board of Supervisors and the staff have truly embraced the concept of sustainability. Lancaster County is one of the few areas that we've actually have designated growth areas. It's been more of a sustainable mind frame, if you will, than other parts of the state, and I think that's proved to be very advantageous to us. And I want to give one example. A lot of people say, what is sustainability? And I think it can mean a lot of things for different people, but I really think one major concept is balance, and also seeking opportunities. I think if you're got a big picture or a big view of what's happening within your community, you can seize opportunities that can actually complement each other. Sometimes, and I say what's in my first slide here, what's is sustainability. Here it could be relationship between ecological improvement, economic growth, and preservation of natural resources. Now, many people would say how could you possibly get those three to work together, because you can't have growth without having some impact to the environment, or in our case, giving up valuable farmland. In Warwick Township, we have 83% of our soils are class 1 through 3. We're called the breadbasket of the country. And so that's a big issue about preserving farmland within Lancaster County. Just to give you a reference, 52% of our land within our municipality is zoned either agricultural or conservation. So let's look at a case study. And we have 5 minutes, so I'm going to fly through this. So this is like an appetizer of sustainability. It's not a full it's not a full course menu. It's an appetizer. But in a case, we're going to look at economic growth, preservation, and ecological improvements. And my case study is Rock Lidditz. Rock Lidditz is a unique situation. They're located within Warwick Township. They're a conglomerate of businesses. They are the national, or in some cases, international #1 concert set construction within the world. If you've seen the Rolling Stones, Taylor Swift, Usher, bands I don't even know because I'm in my late 50s, but they provide both sound, set construction, lighting, very unique industry. And this is a good example. 4 or 5 years ago, just like everybody else in the recession, we had no growth, but we noticed this industry was recession proof. We went out and talked to them because their employment levels were going up, and we said, what's going on? They actually said, hey, if we don't grow soon, we're going to look for another place and possibly have to relocate out of the municipality. Well, that sent a warning to us because, again, we have a regional comprehensive plan with 3 other municipalities. We have ongoing committees that look at economic development, so that we immediately contacted them and we started a dialogue with these industries. And we looked at that, and as far as the economic growth was the opportunity to maintain 500 good paying jobs. These guys, this is very high tech industry, that if they could expand, they looked at possibly expanding 400 jobs and creating a very high tech campus. We, in Warwick, we have a transferable development right program. And so when you say, how are you going to get preservation in there? All our industrial growth is geared towards TDRs. So now this created an opportunity possibly that we could sell more TDRs so that they could grow. And so that's an opportunity. And then we looked at the area that we looked at as the site for this project. We also saw was a large ecological area with a large floodplain, and we're very big in watershed management. If you've heard of the Lidditz Run Watershed Alliance, it's been recognized statewide for some of its efforts. And this tributary, which runs through this site, was one of our target areas. We keep a constant database about what's happening with the watershed, so we knew that this was a target area. So what we had to do, and this, in other areas this may be a big deal, but it was a big deal in Lancaster County. We have designated growth areas. In order to provide room for this industry, where we're going to have to expand and adjust our growth area and take over a farm that was currently zoned agricultural and provide 95 acres for them to expand. As you can see, this is a sketch plan, or actually a master plan of that site. And it was going to deal with several $1 million worth of square footage of coverage. And in order to look at this, we wanted to rezone this from agricultural to campus industrial. Campus industrial would then make it viable and applicable for our transferable development right program. So again, looking at that growth component, we had at stake, could we maintain our 500 jobs, potentially create 400 new ones? Obviously, possibly attract national and international industries to our region. There's several California firms coming to this facility now, and possibly about $60 million addition to the tax base. When we rezoned that track, they bought the farm, we rezoned the track, we then set it up as a campus industrial zone, which meant that they would have to purchase TDRs in order to expand and provide for the project itself. Again, our program, I believe, is the largest in the state of Pennsylvania right now. We've sold several hundred TDRs. It's going very well. We've done hospitals, Targets, a shopping center, all under this program, which they purchase these TDRs. We then partner with the Ag Preserve Board and Farmland Trust within Lancaster County. And so it's been a real good program for us as far as we've done 27 separate farm projects totaling over 2,900 acres of land that we've been able to preserve through this program. So again, quickly, campus industrial is the receiving area. All agricultural zone land is the sending area. And we keep our program very simple. Another concept, simplicity. People don't have time to read 50 pages of ordinances. Keep your program simple. In ours, I can describe it in 2 sentences. The sending area is for every 2 acres of agricultural land equals 1 TDR. It's a 100-acre farm, it's 50 TDRs. The receiving area is for that industry, for every 4,000 square feet of increased permitted lot coverage equals 1 TDR. It's an easy math. 4,000 divided by 250,000 square feet equals X TDRs. We sell those TDRs. We saw a kid that we're the Walmart of TDRs. Because I partner with the Ag Preserve Board, I can sell those TDRs for about $3,000. But this project alone, Rock Lidditz, will generate about $1.25 million worth of TDRs, which then I'll transfer into about 10 to 12 farm preservation projects. So all I'm doing is recycling money. We also have another motto. We like to use everybody else's money, not our own. So it's a great, the best money is someone else's money. So if you can recycle that money, that's a great concept. From an ecological standpoint, because we're also big in our watershed, and I know that most of you are from the Pittsburgh area, we're severely under the Chesapeake Bay Initiative. So we must meet our TMDL, we must meet our MS4 programs, and Lancaster County in particular has been targeted as a hot area. So we've had to be very innovative in how we've approached both nitrate and phosphorus reduction and sediment load reduction. So in this case, this tract had 17 acres of floodplain, which at the premium cost that the developer had to buy that, if what we did to attract him to do almost $1 million worth of restoration to that floodplain was, if you work with us, we think you can recoup some of that area and be able to have more area to develop, and at the same time, remove sediment legacy sediment, which is nitrate-laden topsoil that's been in place for hundreds of years, reducing our nitrate load, and also using that carrying capacity of that floodplain as floodplain management. Now, it's a fairly new concept. It was something we had to go through with EPA, the Corps of Engineers, and DEP. But again, it shows that, through the partnership that we had with this developer, that we could provide some real improvements. And so what we did was, and again, we've done an analysis on this. We feel that we were going to be able to remove about 246,000 pounds of sediment from the watershed annually through this. It provided more area. It's going to provide management of the floodplain and stormwater facilities within that floodplain area. And so there's just a lot of improvements. So now this project, here we have economic growth, here we have farm preservation, and here we now have environmental improvement, all going on in one place. And so, that to me is a concept of sustainability, grabbing hold of those opportunities and making those help create the vision that you have for your community. Again, we've been very fortunate, but because of that long-term approach to it, people sort of understand that concept and they really don't hesitate about it as long as you have a clear sight about what you want to try to achieve. Again, that was an appetizer quickly of, I think I did my 5 minutes there, but that gives you just an idea of what we think sustainability is. Thank you.